Hey, how you doing? Jamie Sargent here, building profits sales training for the small business owners looking to increase their revenue, profits, and gain more sales. And today I'm going to cover off a key topic, which is follow-up. Now, this should be on all the social media platforms live, but unfortunately, for some reason, technicals beat me today, and I can't get it to go live. So it's a pre-recorded one, but I am doing this on the Thursday as agreed. So, guys, follow-up. Follow-up, and what is it? How do you do it? And why do most people hate follow-up? And actually, what do you lose by not following up? Well, here's the starting line. When I first went into sales, I was told coffee is for closers. So here's my coffee cup. There you go. A well-known brand there. It's not got the Starbucks inside, but that is my coffee cup. And it was said to me, coffee is for closers. You can only have a coffee if you can close a sale. And it's always got me thinking around, how do you close sales to gain this magical cup of coffee? And it was a running joke. In certain sales jobs, you were only allowed to drink, everything but coffee unless you closed a sale. And it was quite interesting. It was quite strange times for me. So I learned very quickly, even through the early days of sales, follow-up is massively key. Now, what I have learned about follow-up is, one, people don't do it. Two, salespeople and business owners tend to forget about it or don't like it. And three, if you don't follow up and the competitor sweeps in and does a couple of follow-up calls with the customer, a couple of reach outs to the customer, your hard work has gone to rat because supplier B has come in and gone, oh, we're amazing, we're great, and actually we keep in touch with you. Follow-up. Follow-up is massively key to your sales process. And it does not matter what product, service you sell. If you cannot follow up a customer, then you will lose business. And it is that simple. It's something like 5% of customers buy on the first interaction. And I've challenged this to people, think of when you're going to look at a car, unless you've specifically gone, I want a black Volvo V40 with this spec, this mileage, this year, this price range, and these amount of owners, and actually there's only one available, then you will be looking at several 8 black Volvo V40s. If you've got umpteen suppliers who supply the same or similar product, you will have umpteen customers looking at yours versus theirs versus the next versus the next. Follow-up is massively key in your process, and it differentiates you between you and your competitors. So what does follow-up mean? So you've got your customer on the phone, or you've got your customer on a Zoom, or you've got your customer face-to-face. You've had a conversation, you've done the initial discovery, you know where they are, where they want to get to. And they say to you, right, great, send me a quote over and we'll have a look over it and come back to you. So what you already know is the customer is asking for a quote. So they're asking for the figures. You know that they're going to go and have a think about it, or that's what they're saying they want to do. And so once you've gone through the process of why is that happening? Why are they needing to go and think about it? Is there something going on in the background? Is there other decision makers? Is there another supplier in place? Is the customer not sure on something? Or sometimes it could simply be the customer just needs to go and decide. Customer needs a bit of time to breathe. Or it might be that the product or service you supply actually goes out as part of a package to an end user. So the quote you've given them then has to go to that person. If you don't follow that customer up after that, and you hope and pray that that customer is going to come back to you and they're going to buy off you further down the line, you are essentially giving your money away. Okay, so follow-up is a process. It's a stringent process that follows the customer up at strategic points to ensure you are consistent in their mind, that you know where they're at in their buying process. And also, as these conversations go on, what you will find is customers will get other inputs and they might come back with other questions and feel silly to ask them. But if you've got a pre-agreed follow-up meeting or pre-agreed follow-up call, what they can do is they can say, oh, actually, Jamie, by the way, you mentioned this. I spoke to Bob down the road, and Bob down the road said, what about this? And you can quickly answer, deal with it, and qualm it. If you don't, Mr. Smith sat here is going to say, Bob down the road said this, Jamie said that. Well, I'll trust Bob down the road because I've seen him a few more times than Jamie on the phone. Very, very key in your follow-up. Keep it consistent, keep it concise, and keep it close together as well. You want to be close. You want it to be tight. You do not want long, drawn-out follow-up processes over weeks, months, and months and months. And so I would normally suggest you do the first 3 follow-ups in the next 72 hours after your initial conversation. And they are as simple as you've sent the quote over to the customer, give them a call an hour. Hi, Mr. Smith, really sorry to disturb you. It's Jamie from Building Profit Sales Training. You asked for that quotation. That quotation I've put on your emails. I just want you to check while I'm on the phone that it's on your emails. Is that there? Mr. Customer's either going to say yes or he's going to say no. If he says yes instantly, you may question a little bit around what his initial thoughts are, or you might sort of say, great, what questions do you have about that quote? Most times people will say, no, I haven't looked at it yet. And then what I want you to do is follow up process number 2 is 24 hours later or 48 hours later, depending on your customer. Mr. Smith, really appreciate it. What I find with most of my customers is once they have their quotation, within the first 48 hours, lots of questions come over to that quote. So what I want to do is just be able to answer those for you. So if you make a list of them, I can jump on a call in 48 hours and we can discuss those questions. It's better still if you can do the quote live time while on the phone. So if you can do something like a Zoom while they're on the phone and you can go through the conversation, the quote there and then. But if you can't, a tight follow-up process needs to be in place. Guys, follow-up is the #1 seller in your sales. Most sales transactions take place now between interaction 4 and interaction 15. That's between 4 and 15 interactions between you and the customer before they commit. Now, that will look very, very different depending on what you supply, what you do, and the type of customer you're dealing with, and how they propose the quote to whoever it's going to go to. So, you know, if you're proposing it to a mid-level marketing manager, for example, then it's going to go to a finance director. Well, clearly having the finance director on the initial call would have helped you out massively, but you've got a buying chain in that business then that's going to take you and slow you down. This all comes back down to qualification earlier on as to how you deal with it. But let's go back to follow-up. Follow-up. You must follow your customers up. Have a structure in place. Get it confirmed with the customer. Make sure they know when you're going to call them. If you're going to do an email follow-up, I would suggest keep the emails very, very short and concise. You know, hi, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I've seen this project that's recently been done with our product in your area. I thought I'd mention it because you might, if you live locally, you might want to pop past and have a look at product X on the ground. Do not, under any circumstances, follow up on email and say to a customer, are you in a position to buy? It is the most coldest approach to follow up on the planet. And it doesn't make the customer feel all warm, fuzzy and inside and want to buy your product or service. What it does do for the customer is it makes them feel like it's just a business transaction. That's it. You want the money. Are you ready to buy? No. And you've got nowhere to go with it. Follow-up needs to be consistent, concise and structured around the process within your business. So follow up your customers, follow it up, get creative with follow-up, use videos, use Loom, use blogs if you've written blogs on certain projects. You know, photos are always good if it's a finished installation or something. Get creative with your follow-up and structure your follow-up so the customer knows it's coming. They expect it to happen. Bear in mind, this is a business transaction. Yes, it's going to be personal in the sense of the customer needs to feel the love, the wealth of love from you guys. But it is a transaction and you are a professional that is giving your time to a customer in order to explore the way to move forward. So just treat it as that. Treat it as a meeting that is for exploration and for closing. Sorry, not for closing, for following up. Ensure when you follow up that you always got an agenda, an outcome, a desired outcome for both you and for the customer. And by that, I mean, you know, if the customer is going to buy today, great. Have you got your purchase order ready, your invoice ready, or your payment methods ready? Have you got everything in line? Can you deliver on this project the same time that you said you could in the early start or when you first started talking to this customer? Because of course, things may have changed. Follow up, and follow up more. Until a customer says it's a definite no, we do not want you, you may continue to follow. And that could look, you know, sometimes like you might have to extend it after a couple of weeks where they say, do you know what, the project's gone back 3 months, but don't go for 3 months, diarise it for 2. Keep your follow-up nice and concise and consist. It will help you close more sales in your business. It will help you gain more confidence from the customer because they know you're in touch, they know you're on the pulse, they know you're ready to support them and deal with them. And ultimately, let's put it into a perspective of, if Mr. and Mrs. Smith are ringing up 6 people about the same product and only one of those 6 follow up, who's going to get the business? So it is master to your sales process. Follow-up is insanely important. Probably one of the most important parts of the process for when a customer hasn't bought straight off the bat, which is, as I say, very, very unlikely. Keep the follow-up coming, guys. I hope that helps you. Hope you get some use out of that follow-up information. If you'd like to subscribe to the YouTube channel, there's a link down below. You can drop on and subscribe. There's videos coming up there all the time. All my social media platforms there as well. You can also even email me, which is jamie@buildingprofits.co.uk, and we can discuss your sales process from start to finish or specific areas and see where you're at. For today, though, I hope that helps. Have a great afternoon, guys. Take care, and I will catch you on the next one.